What is up everyone, it's CMG here. So for today's video, I'm going to do my best to explain Overwatch 2's newest support hero, Illari. I'm going to attempt to explain her kit, i.e. her abilities and ultimate, and then afterwards I'll try explaining what I think of her overall and if she's going to be an easy or difficult hero to master in the coming months that follow. Now before I go ahead and do this, I want to remind you all once again, if you like this idea for content and you want to see more in the future, go ahead and click on the subscribe button, send a comment, like the video, and then turn on your notifications. It really does help me out a great deal. For those of you that have done it already, thank you. I highly appreciate you. So as you can see right now, I'm in the practice range. So let's take a look at all that she has to offer. So Illari's main weapon is known as a solar rifle. Now if you hit R2 once, it fires a single long-ranged charged shot. Now what's different about this one shot is that it's actually on a small charge. So if you want to fire another fully ranged charged shot, you'll need to wait for the gauge to charge all the way up to shoot again. So this basically prevents Illari from constantly firing charged shots. There needs to be some fall off as far as balance goes. So for example, if you're doing a charged shot and you want to consistently do shots like this, you can't keep doing it. It won't do that much damage. It's got some damage fall off. So if you want a charge shot, you have to wait till the gauge goes all the way up and then shoot. So yeah, there you go. It's a kind of a sort of like a damage management kind of thing. So it sort of prevents Illari from doing too much damage, or the rest of it. So it prevents like spam and everything like that. Now pressing L2 triggers a medium range healing beam that heals allies, and this of course consumes solar energy, so you'll need to use this sparingly, and this of course maintains the balance in her kit. You wouldn't want to keep the healing beam up all the time consistently because this would be far too OP with the healing. So as you can see there in the middle, there's like this yellow kind of gauge that goes all the way down. Now if it runs out, you can't heal. You have to wait until that loads back up and then you can start healing. Now this is very similar to Moira's healing, where whenever you're using your heal, you have to charge up by using the kinetic, well not the kinetic grasp, the biotic grasp I should say. I'm getting a bit confused with the Sigma. But yeah, you have to, in order to charge up your healing, you have to do damage. But in this case, it's just literally you healing and then waiting for the gauge to go back up and then you can heal. So yeah, there's the difference. Now then, her abilities are also fairly straightforward as well. Now the first ability is a healing pylon. So if you throw this, it'll stick to any wall, it'll stick to a ceiling, it'll stick to any floor, whatever. And it'll proceed to heal allies that are in close proximity to it. So it's worth noting as well that this pylon will focus on teammates that have the lower health than others. Now I believe that's correct. Other than that, pretty straightforward ability. This is basically Symmetra's turrets, except there is only one of them and it heals instead of doing damage. Now if you want to go ahead and remove the pylon to move it somewhere else, you hit the L3 button and it completely goes away, and then you can go ahead and throw it somewhere else. So you can throw it on the ceiling if you wanted to, and all that rest of it. So there's only one healing pylon at a time, so you can't throw out multiple pylons. It's just literally one and it will heal your allies, so pretty useful. Right, so Illari's second ability is more of a defensive one against enemy players, and something like this is absolutely mandatory in all support heroes. They need to have something in their kit to either keep themselves alive or something they can use to hit back against enemies, try to deal with them. So this ability is called Outburst, so this is what it is, it's literally that. So all Illari does here is launch herself in the direction she's moving while knocking back enemies. Pretty simple ability this. You basically would use this and move in a safer position, or if the place you're at starts getting congested or you're getting attacked by damage dealers and you want to get away, you would literally do this. I believe it does a little bit of damage there as well, so it's quite useful in this regard. So pretty good. What you can also do is a little bit of an extra thing. Is if you hold the jump button, I believe you go a bit further, so let's try that. Yeah, so I've literally just pressed and held the jump button there, and it's allowed me to propel a much further distance. So It's a little bit of a nice little trick if you want to try and do this. Pretty good. Right then, so her ultimate ability is called Captive Sun. Now, what Illari does here is she will launch herself up, as you'll do right now, and she'll be airborne for a brief period. And during this time, she can fire an explosive ball of solar energy that will not only slow down enemies when in contact, but it will also apply an effect on them. Let me go and go back and receive one of these, because it's a good one to get your ultimate back. So yeah, not only will this slow down enemies, but it will also apply an effect on them that causes an explosion after they have taken significant amount of damage. So if I throw this one out here, you see that little sun thing that's on end applied to them? It'll literally explode when I do damage to them. So it's a really cool little mechanic of being able to, let's say if you've thrown that ultimate out and you've applied that effect on certain enemies, if you've got teammates that can shoot damage at those said enemies, it will explode on impact. So it's a pretty strong ultimate, I would say. Anyway, so there you go. That's pretty much everything Illari has to offer in Overwatch 2. Now, what are my first impressions of Illari? And is this hero going to be an easy one to play in the coming months going forward? Well, in my honest opinion, I think this is a hero done right for the game. The balance is pretty good here. There's plenty of healing in her kit. However, regardless of the plenty of healing, there is enough balance to not allow too much of this to be done. Nonetheless, I think her kit is still going to be quite effective. I think Ana players like myself are going to get a lot of benefit because of her long-range capability with the charge shot. Actually, speaking of long-range shots, I think a lot of people have actually come to a conclusion early on that she can deal quite a lot of damage. She's going to be up there with Moira in the damage category when it comes to the support heroes. I think the difference between Illari and Moira, however, is that I reckon Illari is going to have more of a skill ceiling compared to Moira, especially when you want to land all of those important shots to do said damage. And you'll also have to be able to master the art of knowing when to take a charged shot and make sure you're prioritizing your targets, which is going to be really key here, I feel. Compared to Moira, I mean, all you need to do with her is just latch Biotic Grasp onto somebody and you can simply just suck away their health. I mean, real skill being used there. Now, if you compare Illari's introduction with Lifeweaver, I don't think there's any debate here. Lifeweaver, if you remember, had all sorts of issues when he first got introduced, right down to the actual control of him. If you remember, the devs had to completely reconfigure how he controlled both on PC and on console. And that's not even speaking about the amount of healing that he was able to do, which was hardly very much. Now, thankfully, the devs seem to have made some changes in the most recent patches that will hopefully iron out his healing, and he's much better to control now compared to before. As far as his kit is concerned, it does feel a little bit clunky to me. I've still yet to figure this out fully. Illari, on the other hand, has come out of the blocks with a nice kit, very simple to understand. There's a higher skill cap, but there's a little bit balance there, and I reckon the individual at Blizzard who came up with the idea of this hero really has played enough of Overwatch to understand what sort of heroes the game needs. Basic hero, basic abilities, easy to understand compared to Lifeweaver, who was completely messed up. Anyway, what do you think of Illari? Is she going to be a fun hero to play? Have you been playing her? And first and foremost, what do you think of the hero? Is she 10 times better than Lifeweaver? Let me know in the comment section down below. So this is going to be the end of the video, guys. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you like this idea for content and you want to see more in the future, go ahead and click on the subscribe button. Send a comment, like the video, and then turn on your notifications. It really does help me out a great deal. You can also check me out on all of my other social medias, my Twitter or my X account, my Discord, and of course, my TikTok. There's also my Threads and my Instagram if you want to go ahead and follow me on those platforms as well. Thank you very much for watching the video, guys. Have a great day. Have a great life. Be nice to your fellow gamers because we're all human beings. I've been CMG as always, and until the next video, I shall see you later. Peace.